Am I the asshole for dipping lasagna into hot sauce? I, 20F, love hot sauce and put it on most things. I live with my husband, 22M. For the last couple of days, his mother has been in the area, and yesterday she asked if she could come around and cook for us before heading home. Since neither of us were working, we agreed, and offered to help her so we can all cook and eat together and it's less work for her. She refused and said she wanted to do something nice for us, and also refused us helping with the cost. She went grocery shopping specifically for this. Anyway, she arrives early in the day and spends 8 hours on making a lasagna. Not all of this was active cooking time, most was just the meat sauce simmering. But even then she was saying how she wished she had overnight. We have an apartment and there wouldn't be room for her to stay the night. I am grateful for the time she spent and thank her multiple times, although her coming around for such a long period was more than we had discussed and did mean we had to reschedule some plans we had made for earlier that day. It comes time to eat and we have the lasagna and roast potatoes. This is when the problem started. We keep condiments in the middle of the dinner table, and I put some hot sauce on my plate. Dip a potato in, dip the lasagna in. Make eye contact with my mother-in-law and she looks at me like I'm eating human baby. Puts down her plate, pushed it away and begins getting ready to leave. I ask her what's wrong, and she tells me she has never been so disrespected before by any of my son's women, and that she spent 8 hours slaving away just for you to ruin it with that crap. My husband did defend me, but my mother-in-law has now begun a narrative in his family that I'm ungrateful. I'm not sure if what I did was actually wrong or not. Am I the asshole? I get it. I'm married to a hot saucer. But it sucks when you work hard on a dish and they immediately dump a bunch of hot sauce on it. It's like they're saying, here, fixed it. And I love hot sauce, but when you use a lot of it, that's all you taste. Sounds like you didn't want her cooking for you anyway. So, job well done, I guess. Also, eating that much for sauce means you are ingesting a ton of sodium. I'm sorry. I had a hard time getting past potatoes on the table at the same time as lasagna. What the fuck? This is sacrilege. You are the asshole. Hot sauce does not belong on lasagna. You should be taken to the Colosseum and fed to lions. I feel like we need a bit more context first. Did you even taste the food before dipping it in the hot sauce? If not, this may have been a test by Mill. Ever heard the old story of a man who owned his own business using soup as a means of judging character when hiring someone? He'd buy them soup, and then wait to see if they put salt in the soup before tasting it. And if they did, he'd not hire them. How else was she supposed to interpret that? Especially with the eye contact thing, what is that even? You pretty much implied she doesn't know how to make food. Because she can't season. You are the asshole. I love my gochujang on plenty of food or just on my sandwich, but even I know not to just use that on food someone else made. Not the asshole. You put hot sauce on everything. This has probably been a known fact for years. Sounds like a power trip on MIL's end. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that the world doesn't revolve around her miscarriage? I, 27 female, just found out I'm pregnant with my husband, 29 male. We went to tell my parents and they were over the moon, but my older sister, Kirsten, 32 female, wasn't happy. She had a miscarriage 2 months ago and she thinks I'm trying to outshine her. I assured her that I wasn't trying to do that, but she wasn't having it. It ended in an argument and I snapped and said, "The world doesn't revolve around your miscarriage." She ran off crying and my parents support me, but they said I could have been a bit more nicer. Update. After I cooled down, I texted Kirsten to apologize and said I wasn't trying to downplay her grief and I was just angry because of hormones and stress, but she left me on read. At this point I don't know what to do. I feel bad, but she doesn't have the right to make everyone feel sad forever. She should learn to not make everything about her. For the people who said I should have told my parents separately, I did, but she overheard. With your update, I don't know why you think you get to snap because you are stressed, but she can't because she's grieving. If someone said something like that to me, hormones and stressed or not, they are out of my life. You are the asshole that was callous. She just had a miscarriage. Of course she is not going to be excited to find out you are pregnant. It hurts. Emotions are raw. The world doesn't revolve around your pregnancy. Yeah, you could have definitely been nicer. She lost her baby. Some women never get over that. Hopefully you never feel the pain of losing your baby. 2 months isn't a long time to process it either. It is sad for her, but you didn't have to make it all about you either. Feel the room and have some tact and empathy. Squeal and gush with joy when sister is out of earshot. You're the asshole. It's been 2 effing months. Also, you made zero effort to tell your parents discreetly if she could overhear. I am sure you're capable of having a conversation or meeting your parents when your sister was not present. Also, you are unkind. You talk about her not making everyone sad forever. It's 2 months. You really have no empathy. I hope you actually get to have your child and not experience what she did, so then you'd understand 2 months is not forever and not an unreasonable period of mourning, grief. Just because you got pregnant it doesn't mean her grief is now expired. Again 2 damn months. You are the asshole. Damn, my miscarriage was 5 years ago and I twinged reading this. No, she does not get to dictate how happy you get to be about your pregnancy or how you celebrate. But was it really so difficult for you to tell your parents separately? Like even in just another room, if not on a separate occasion? It's only been 2 months for her. She's likely not even done bleeding yet. You have been her sister for 29 years and yet are able to be so cruel. You deserve to be happy and celebrate, she deserves to grieve and mourn. They are not mutually exclusive. You are the asshole. She's still grieving over her loss, which she'll grieve for the rest of her life. Please try to be more understanding. It's only been 2 months ago, which is a mere 8 weeks. Yes, she was unhappy to hear your good news and it would have been nicer had she accepted it with grace. But please try to put yourself in her shoes. It could happen to you. There are no guarantees in life. Am I the asshole for taking my niece to Disney without her sibling in tow? I, 30s F, am child-free by choice, but enjoy spending time with kids either in my family or those of my closest friends that call me Auntie Op. At varying points, I've taken just about all of them to either of the American Disney parks. This year, one of nieces asked if, since she has a big b-day coming up, it could be her turn. I told her that I'm 100% down, but that we had to ask her mom. Here's the thing, both my niece and her sibling are adopted, with her sibling having been adopted several years before her. 8 years ago, I took the brother and we had a blast. For the last 3 years, I've been asking to take my niece, and their mom always gives a bullshit excuse, dodges my calls, etc. It's also important to note that it's widely known in my family that she straight up doesn't like her daughter, refers to her as that girl, states that listening to her talk, exist is like nails on a chalkboard, snaps at her constantly for being soft-spoken. You get the point. This year, with it being a milestone, I decided that I'm dead set on making this happen. When I asked again, I made it clear that I would be paying for everything, and that there is no reason for her to stress about me taking my niece. It's also widely known that she vastly prefers her son to her daughter. Basically, the excuse I got this year was that it's not fair to take one kid on a trip and not the other. Mind you, I'm taking him to London as a just us trip when he turns 18 like he's asked, and he has already had his Disney trip with Auntie. When I reminded that she had no problem with me taking him years ago, she flipped out, told me that I obviously preferred her to him, he's my godson, and I would take a bullet for him no question, that everyone thinks her daughter is so perfect, and that she doesn't deserve to go anywhere that he doesn't, and hung up. So Reddit, am I the asshole for wanting to take my niece on a girl's trip for her birthday? Not the asshole. You need to take that girl aside and ask her some detailed questions about her home life. If that's how her mother talks about her to others, how much worse are things when nobody is around? Just reading your post made me want to call children's services to rescue that poor child. Not the asshole. Raise the stakes. I've already taken your son to Disney, so I've arranged to take him to England for his 18th birthday. If I'm not allowed to take one of your kids without the other, then I'll have to rethink the England trip. Do the kids have a dad or other parent? Have you pointed out her hatred of her daughter to them? This is so bad for this child. Tell your sister or sister-in-law that you can't take our nephew on his trip when he is 18 if you don't take your niece on the Disney trip, since it wouldn't be fair. Make sure that you tell the whole family. Not the asshole, obviously. Does this kid have 2 parents? Ask the other one, in a group setting, family barbecue, or something. And lay out all out, with the sweetest smile you ever had. Hey, Mr. Other Parent, since it's kid's 10th birthday, it's about time she got her Disneyland trip, don't you think? Other kid, already had his, and we're doing London soon. She's practically the only kid who hasn't gone. I'm paying for everything, and I'm ready to go on Tuesday. Just let that mean woman interject her no, in front of all her friends and family. The social pressure will crush her. Not the asshole. Your sister definitely is. I feel so bad for your niece, but I am glad she's got you. Am I the asshole for telling my pregnant sister that I wanted nothing more to do with her baby shower? My late 30s, youngest sister, early 30s, is pregnant with her first child. The family is thrilled for her as she and her partner have been trying for a long time to get pregnant. When she announced it, she mentioned that she was having a baby shower and my sister and I offered to help out where we can. For some reason, she took that as a my brother said he would pay for the baby shower, and drafted a guest list of 120 people. I decided to text her one day and ask her what her budget was, and I heard nothing for at least a day. My other sister and my mom mentioned that I had said to her that I would pay for the whole thing. That was never something I had offered to do. She never addressed it with me directly and said that she and her partner would pay for everything. I took charge of creating the Evite registration site, driving an hour away to book the hall and put a deposit down, offered to do the centerpieces, pay for the stroller, driving back to the hall to add extra time to the reservation, because their archaic system doesn't allow people to book online, agree to pick up food on the day of, answer every inquiry from her guests who've registered in the system. My husband offered to help out with the games for the shower. We saw my sister last week and she texted me on Monday saying, if he doesn't want to do the games, then tell me so I can give it to someone else. I finally messaged back and said that I thought her message was a little harsh and if she was trying to imply something that she should just say it out loud. She then responded by saying, fine. I'm disappointed by how much work you've put into this shower. That's when I lost it. I was objective and listed everything I had contributed so far. I also pointed out that I had never agreed to pay for a baby shower with 120 guests. I don't know much about them, but I assumed they were intimate events in someone's home and not something the size of a wedding. I had less people at my own wedding. In addition to this, she complains about other people in her life to my mom and sister about how no one is pitching in. She asked my mom what she was contributing to the shower. My 70-year-old retired mother was taken aback by that comment and offered to cook food for 120 people. She's been so ungrateful throughout this entire process and has since uninvited me to her shower and sarcastically said, enjoy your 40th, and removed me from my sibling group chat. Not the asshole. She sounds toxic and unhinged. You did more than most people would do. Nobody needs 120 people at a baby shower or a hall for it. Your sister is greedy and attention-seeking. Hopefully, pregnancy has just caused temporary insanity. Create an alternative sibling group chat without her. Explain what happened to your mother and siblings. Support your mom if you can, but not at the expense of your mental health. Enjoy your 40th and don't sweat missing the baby shower. When she comes crawling back, listen and decide whether her apology is enough. Not the asshole. When people offer to help with a baby shower, they're intending on bringing some food, making invitations, some decorating, maybe some games planning. They're certainly not offering to pay for an obnoxious event. There's no way your sister actually thought that. Baby showers are not large events. They never have been. They're at most 30-40 people at someone's house. And even that is a ridiculous number. Your sister is taking advantage of you. She is being entirely unreasonable. Removed you from the chat? Count your blessings. 120 people at a baby shower? Every life event is way over the top now. When I had mine, 20 years ago, it was at a friend's house with about 10 guests. We had snacks and a cake. I got some nice gifts but nothing crazy because I would never expect friends or even family to be honest to shell out loads of money for my child. Can we go back to doing simple things? For some reason, she took that as my brother said he would pay for the baby shower. I don't know why I didn't see this coming, but I actually yelled, oh, out loud, and now my fiancé is reading the rest of this over my shoulder. Not the asshole, and I think you did way too much. I'd be grateful for the rescinded invitation and I'd rescind her invitation to your life. Fiancé asked me to add, can you send her an invoice for your time and any money you did spend? Is this a baby shower or an opportunity for her to show off? It very much sounds like the latter. You were paying for 120 guests and had to go in person to request more time. Your mother was cooking for 120 people. It doesn't sound like your sister wants to do anything for her own baby shower. You need uninvite your money along with yourself. Not the asshole.